everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial from the 41st millennium. And today we are painting the all-new Red Corsairs Reave-Captain. Yes, here he is. Absolutely beautiful model. I'm in love with this one. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and I can't wait to jump in and paint him. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So a massive thank you goes to Games Workshop, who sent me this one as part of the Lords of the Maelstrom Battle Force box set. And well, let's jump in and start painting him. He's been primed in grace here, and the colour we're going to be using first is Baal Red, and we're going to be applying this over top of all of the red details. Well, red armour. There's a little bit of extra red scattered around the model, but we're not going to deal with that in just a minute. Can't speak. We're not going to deal with that just yet. We're going to deal with that a little bit later on. So what we're going to do is we're going to just pick out some armor panels, and in case of this guy, it's going to be the sort of stray hair just there. It's going to be this boot, this greave, the lower leg on the back here, the chest plate, the arms, and the shoulder and the backpack. But of course, you can do as much or as little of this as you like. It's entirely up to you. So with all that Baal Red applied, what we're then going to do is we're going to take some Flesh Tearers Red, and we're going to apply this over the top. So with that Flesh Tearers Red all applied, we're then going to take some Black Legion, and we're going to apply this over top of, well, all of our remaining power armor, and we're also going to be picking out a fair amount of the trim, and of course any gaps and joints in the armor as well. But there is going to be some gold trim on this Reave-Captain. For example, around this greave, that's going to be gold, and the shoulder over here, that's also going to be gold. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take a roughly 2 parts Ratling Grime to 1 part Lamia Medium mix, and we're going to apply this over, well, almost all of our remaining details. So we're going to be applying this over top of the fur, we're going to apply this over top of the cloak, we're also going to apply this over the top of the tabard, the belt, and the holster for his pistol. We're going to apply this over the top of the wrap here, the grip of his weapon, but don't worry, it's not all going to stay the same colour. I have a plan. So with all of that Ratling Grime applied, what we're going to do is we're going to now relayer them in different ways. So for all the fur, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Black Templar, and we're going to apply this over top. So with that all done, we're then going to take some Targor Rageshade, and we're going to apply this over top of the tabard. For our belts and straps, we're going to take some Athonian Camoshade, and we're going to apply this over the top. And so with that all done, we then once again hit the cloak with a roughly 2 parts Ratling Grime to 1 part Lahmian medium mix. And for our remaining pouch and holster and weapon grip, take a little bit of Wyldwood. We apply this over the top. So with that all done, we've now got a bit of skeleton horde to apply over the top of the 2 skulls and that last little bit of leather right next to this one. So with that all done, it's now time to do the metallics. And what we're going to do is we're going to start off with some thinned down Iron Warriors. And we're going to apply this over top of all of the sort of mechanical and weapon details. One thing we forgot to do before we continue with the metallics is to paint in the sort of half helmet of the skull up the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some Ultramarines Blue and apply this over the top of it. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Retributor Armour, and we're going to apply this over the top of all of our remaining details. So with that all done, it's time to add some shades. And we're going to start off with some Nuln Oil. And we're going to apply this over top of all the black and all the silver. And with all that Nuln Oil applied, we're then going to take some Reikland Fleshshade, and we're going to apply this over top of all of the gold. So with that all done, our Reave-Captain is now what I would call a Warhipster battle ready. He's looking pretty good, however. We're not going to leave him there, of course not. No, we're going to take him to the next level. And we're going to do this by adding some highlights. Now, the first of these is going to be some thinned down Wild Rider Red. We're going to use this to highlight all of the red. So with that all done, we're now going to take some thinned down Dawnstone. And we're going to use this to highlight the black armor paneling and the fur. As well as the top knot. So with all that Dawnstone applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Administratum Grey. And we're going to use this to add some spot highlights, but only to the fur. So with that all done, a few of you said in the previous Murderwing video that you thought that the trim looked a little bit too silver, so what we're going to do for this time round is an alternative. I quite like Ironbreaker, but for a slightly darker finish, what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Leadbelcher. I'm going to use this to highlight all the black trim. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Stormvermin Fur. And we're going to use this to highlight the cloak. And so with that Stormvermin Fur all applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Karak Stone. I'm going to use this to add some little spot highlights to the sharpest points in the cloak. Just like that sort of thing. However, what we're also going to do with the Karak Stone is we're going to use this to highlight fully the other leather details that we did with the Ratling Grime. So the belt, the tabard, and with that all done, just for the tabard, what we're going to do is we're going to take a teensy little bit of Rakarth Flesh and use this to add some spot highlights. So with that now done, what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of Baharroth Blue. And we're going to apply this over the top of the middle of the eye lenses. And so with that all done, to give it that sort of lovely sort of off glow that it's got in the box art, what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of Frostheart and we'll apply this over the top of the eye lens, and we're just going to catch our little grey highlight as well. Like that. And to finish off those eyes, we take a teensy tiny little bit of blue horror and we apply this right in the middle. So with that all done, we're then going to take a little bit of Screaming Skull and we're going to use this to highlight the skulls. So with that all done, it's now time to take some thinned down Ironbreaker. I'm going to use this to highlight all the silver, excluding that trim. With all that Ironbreaker applied, what we're then going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Baharroth Blue once again, and we're going to use this to add some lightning and power going on in the mace head. So on these flat panels, basically what we want to do is we want to draw a little kind of semicircle next to each of the sort of pins either side, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put in just a little bit of lightning. And with that done, once again, we take some Frostheart and we apply this over the top. And then, just like before, in the eyes, we take a teensy tiny little bit of blue horror. And we apply this right in the middle. And so with that all done, we can now finish off our Reave-Captain by taking some thinned down Liberator Gold. And we use this to highlight all the gold. And there we have it. The Reave-Captain is now finished. I really, really like this model. I don't know what it is about it, but it's got some serious presence. and serious power behind it, and it's a lovely model to paint because there's so many different sort of textures and different opportunities for other things to paint within it. So as a Space Marine it's fantastic, but it's just really fun. And I really like this model. I can't tell you that enough.
If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel, and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done, scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.